I've been asked this question so many times. How do you get young people involved in politics? There is a heartbeat out there among our older population that really do want to see the younger generation engage. So here's the easy solution. You ready? It's way easier than you think. You have to invite them. It sounds silly and too simple, but let me explain. Throughout Michigan, there are 83 counties, and there are different pockets of citizens, whether it's your local Republican groups, whether it's your local pro-life groups, right? It could just be a group of grandpas and grandmas that get together once a week to, talk about the top issues, what's going on in the community, find out what candidates you need to support, right? It could be various forms. Throughout the state, there are pockets of people, and maybe some of you are watching this right now, and you're saying, how do I tap into that younger vein? You simply have to invite them to join you. How many of you have ever reached out to like your grandchild and said, hey, some of us are going to go watch this movie. Would you like to join us? Or, hey, some of us are going to go walk in a parade. Would you like to come along? How many even young professionals do you know that maybe they're still kind of in that in-between season of life? They haven't gotten married yet. They're still kind of getting their feet on the ground. They're looking for purpose. How many of you have reached out to them in your community to say, would you guys like to join us for coffee or for breakfast? Some of us get together once a week. We'd love to treat you. Come join us. And then when they show up at the table, take interest in them. Ask them questions. Ask their feedback to say, hey, what does your generation talk about on this topic? Too often, the older generation doesn't reach out to the younger generation forgets the older generation. Somehow we have to change that. I actually love the older generation. I love being able to like glean from them, to listen to them, to hear their stories, and to tap into their wisdom. But then there's the younger generation too, and their voice matters. And you have a unique window of opportunity that if you can invite them to come with you and to come alongside the journey with you, and you can listen to them, you can let them know that what they see and what they hear among their generation is actually really helpful intel to you. I think at times as we get older, it becomes kind of our default, right, as humans to say, oh, well, my generation has it right, or me and my peers, we know what's up. We don't want to waste time with the younger people. Well, that's silly because if we want America to win, if we want freedom to win, and we recognize as conservatives that every life has value and every life has dignity in the eyes of God, don't you think that they also need to have value in our eyes as well? So whether there's a young person in your community who's maybe a loner, right? You always see them at the coffee shop by themselves, or maybe your 10-year-old son is like, hey, I have friends and their parents aren't around a lot. Invite the kids that you see around community. Hey, will you join us? Can I take you and a group of your friends out to dinner? Invite them to be in the process with you, invite them to the table, ask them questions, let them know that their perspective matters. And here's another tip. As you get to know them and you hear what lingo they use, you find out what topics matter to them. You find out what modes of communication they use. You find out, well, actually, they're really excited about protecting our border. But you know what? They're not really talking about the grocery cost. That gives you even more insight to know how to reach that population and how to use, shall we say, selling points to bring more of them to the table. And hopefully, as they're invited to the table, they are going to realize just how cool our older generation is and how much farther ahead they can get if they will listen to what you have to say. Don't give up on the younger people. Keep inviting them again, and let them know that their voice is needed in this time in America.